Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very last day of 2016. This is Steve Collins coming to you from Canyon Lake, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are excited about this day today. Why am I addressing this topic? I get promptings from time to time, and I intend to follow those promptings and leadings so that I can discuss what I believe is on the heart of my coach. So I want to talk today about a subject that is obviously potentially very controversial. And I want to shout out to Stephen, who's helping me out today, who will be available to read questions if there are any questions related to what I'm speaking about. Steve, I'm just going to ask you to do me a favor, and that is let me finish a flow before there's a question. You might give me a nod like question, and then I can prepare instead of getting in there so that I can maintain my train of thought. So who's more spiritual, men or women? What is the idea behind who's more spiritual, men or women? So let me just begin by saying this. Men and women are equally spiritual. Men and women are equally spiritual. One is no more spiritual than the other because both presents and possesses a spirit. So they're equally spiritual. When you define spiritual according to the Webster's definition, it's like of or pertaining to or related to issues of the soul and spirit, as in opposition or indifference to things of the natural that you can see or touch or feel. So why do I say that it's an equal thing? Well, being an equal thing doesn't mean that there's an equal advantage or an equal propensity towards spirituality. Let me give you an example. Think of an NBA basketball player. You have two guys that are hardcore, athletic, amazing basketball players. Both have incredible potential. Both are amazing. Both are hardworking. Both are equally gifted and talented in dribbling and moving and shooting and free throws. Both of them, right? Would the man have an advantage over the other man that was 7'5" and one guy is 5'8"? Would there be an advantage? Well, the answer is very obvious to that. There would be a definite advantage having that height if they were equally athletic. So when you think about spirituality with men and women, here's the conclusion of the conversation that I intend to have, and feel free to bring some questions on towards the end of this live feed. When it comes to men and women, you have to consider the natural tendencies or functions of most men and most women. So don't anybody get weird. He's being sexist like my little dog. He's so sexist. No, I'm not. I love both sexes and I love sex. I'm not sexist. It's amazing. At the end of the day, I'm just having a conversation about propensity towards. You don't show an event, well, he only drafted him to play the NBA because he's 7'5". He should have drafted him because he's 5'6". Well, no, it's not a value of the person. It's what is the function, what is the propensity towards, who's more likely to succeed in that endeavor. Does that make sense? So when we talk about men and women in spirituality, here's what we know. For the most part, men are more naturally inclined to handle and deal with things that you can feel, things that you can touch, structures, things that you can do, things you can do with your hands, things that can get done, things that actually show up when a guy does work. Because this is the propensity. This is something that also brings most, now remember, this is not black or white, most men, an incredible amount of satisfaction and fulfillment is the accomplishment of a job well done. Doing something that can be seen. The pleasure a guy gets in working in his yard all day long, and at the end of the day, the yard looks magnificent. He's cracking a cold beer with sweat running down his face, looking at what he has accomplished. What can be seen is a man's natural propensity. Ladies tend to be more naturally inclined to sensitivity and relationship, which are things that are unseen largely because they're issues of the heart and connection. So men tend to put more stock in what they can see and do, which is why when men meet at a party, they don't go, so Bob, tell me about your wife and kids. You don't ever hear that. You see guys at a party. Hey, how's it going, man? Long time no see. How's Barbara and Billy and Bobby? That's typically not what men do, especially if they meet for the first time. They don't normally go, how you doing? Steve Collins, good to meet you. So, tell me about your family. What do guys do? What's the one question guys always ask? How you doing, man? So, what do you do? What do you do? Guys tend to get their value from what they do. Women tend to get their value from their relationships. I have never seen women at a mixer go, hi, how are you doing? I'm Angela Collins. So what do you do? It's just, if you think about it, they don't do that. Hi, how are you? Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I see you're wedding. How long you been married? Oh, that's fantastic. You have any kids? Wonderful. Because women, the majority, tend to be more inclined to be relational, to deal with things that cannot be seen. Think about this. How many women do you know throughout ancient history fought and killed and enslaved people to create giant edifices of a woman standing like this, or like this, or like this? Never, guys. You don't see women creating big giant things that say, this is a reflection of me. Oh, 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 that's me. But how many guys, think about the pyramids, think about the Taj Mahal, think about all of the ancient Egyptian statues. And I mean, how many ladies were like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that mountain and I'm going to carve a big old image of a bad dude holding a sword up in there. No, but guys do, because they tend to look at the physical. So men and women, I will say, are equally spiritual, yet women have a propensity towards, and therefore an advantage towards, manifesting that spiritual life more than men do, because they're more naturally inclined to that. And this falls back into that age-old discussion of our major behaviors on a regular basis. If we're not living life on purpose with real clarity, we tend to subconsciously avoid pain and pursue pleasure. We're being motivated one way or the other. We're either avoiding something painful or we're pursuing something pleasurable. And most of the time, the primary motivator is avoiding pain. So what does this look like for a man exploring spirituality? Well, if he feels like a rock star in what he does at work, then this guy will tend to appreciate, enjoy, and invest time in what makes him feel good. If he goes home and it's like, let's go to church, let's read our Bibles, let's do our devotionals, let's do our stuff, and the guy's like feeling inadequate or ill-equipped or just not certain or unsure, and the church guys he has seen are a bunch of freaking wussies who don't know how to be a real man and who just are about, oh, everything's perfect, bless the holy name of the Lord. I don't think so. What is there for that guy? This is a guy who, if he tends to feel inadequate, ill-equipped, unprepared, unfamiliar in spiritual things, and tends to be a rock star, say in lifting weights or working out or building things or doing things at work and accomplishing things, where is this man going to spend his time? He's going to avoid pain, and he's going to pursue pleasure on an unconscious level. You see, guys, you have to just decide how important it is to you to have a relationship with God, to have a connection with your wife spiritually. If it's important to you, then you have to be willing to suck at it for a very long time before you get good at it. Just like I coach new agents coming in to leave, but I don't like making cold calls. I've yet to meet somebody who does. Well, but that script don't sound like me. Well, it's because it sounds like a realtor earning $500,000 a year. What do you want to sell it? Well, that just doesn't, when I knock on the door, I just get, well, everybody gets nervous, y'all. Okay? It doesn't get easier, you get better. If it's important enough to you, you have to be willing to suck it up, buttercup, and you have to be willing to suffer and feel like a freaking nincompoop for a season as you learn to get better at it. It's like the kid. You know how it is, a kid riding his bicycle. If he keeps falling down, you don't just go, well, he fell down 5 times. I guess bicycling just isn't for little Johnny. Or a little baby learning to walk. Learning to walk, I don't care how many times little Johnny falls, mom and dad say, come on, little Johnny, come on. You got it, buddy, give it again. At no point does Buck say, well, Murray, yeah, it's like the 87th time little Johnny fell down. I guess walking ain't for him. Just lay there on the floor, son. It's going to be okay. Have a good old life laying there like a bump on a log. It's all right. Walking just ain't for you, buddy. No, it doesn't matter how many times you fall and crash and burn. It's important enough. You have to be willing to be really bad at it and screw it up before you get good at it. And guys, let me say something to you. It's that important. It's that important. It's not something you can just blow off. It's not something you can just sweep under the rug, because you are a spiritual being. And let me tell you something interesting. You're responsible for the people entrusted to your care spiritually, even though you may not be functioning in that. You are responsible. In the Garden of Eden, when the crap hit the fan, what did God say? Eve, where are you? No. Adam and Eve? No. He said, Adam, what's up? I entrusted these things to your care. Now, I'm not talking about better than, less, none of that. I'm talking about with responsibility comes authority to be able to serve at a very high level. So it's a responsibility, guys. You can't just shirk. Well, women are more spiritual than men. They have a greater propensity towards, certainly. And yet, you as men have the ability to be willing to be really bad at it before you get really good at it. And I'm going to conclude with this. If we don't have any questions, I'm going to conclude with this. Because the end result of a relationship with God is an actual relationship, that's another advantage a lot of ladies have in having relationship. See, guys think it's about being religious. Well, if I read my Bible, and if I go to church, and if I don't drink, and I don't smoke, and I don't cuss, and I don't chew, and I don't hang with those who do, then I'll be okay, and then I'll be following all these rules, and then I'll be spiritual. No, buddy, that's a huge trap. That's works. That's trying to be right with God because you're behaving. It's so much bigger than that. It's a relationship. I was talking with a gentleman not too long ago who was talking about time with his son, and the conversation concluded with simply this: would you rather read about, hear about, and see the things your son's out there doing for you, or would you rather be with your son? Would you rather go to lunch? And it's a no-brainer if you're a parent. With your kids will always trump what they're doing for you. With you will always trump for you, because it's a relational thing. So let me encourage you guys, if you're willing to be really bad at it before you get good at it, you'll begin to see some huge changes. And it's worth it. It's worth it. And I'm going to challenge you and tell you it's your responsibility. It's your job to figure it out and work it out and get as good at it as you possibly can. What are you laughing at, Steve?
Oh, Kristen's is
chunking huge rocks. Want to see? Are you chunking gigantic rocks towards the end of this? Well, good for you, buddy. In the spirit of that, I'm going to be with them and probably throw rocks with them and actually enjoy myself. Now, I intend to do another video this evening. Guess what, guys? It's going to be with Angela. She's going to talk about everybody's New Year's resolution that has to do with losing weight or getting in better shape. And I'll be talking about the 3 words we discussed. What 3 words answer the question? Who do I intend to become? What do I value? What's missing in my life? What would I want more of in my life? And these are the 3 words that you're going to have on your mirror at home. You're going to have on a 3x5 in your car. You're going to have on the wall in your office. You're going to have your family know what they are. You're going to have your friends know what they are. These are the 3 words that will be the lenses you look through and the filters that you actually think through when you make your big decisions coming into 2017 and throughout the year of 2017. This is how we become the people we intend to become by design and not by default. You guys have a great afternoon.